The laughter hit harder than any slap. My sister, glowing in pastel pink, looked straight at me, hand resting proudly on her stomach. "At least my baby will have a father," she said. The guests erupted in applause. My mother smirked, lifting her champagne flute. "Some women just make bad choices," she added, eyes fixed on me. My throat tightened. I forced a smile, swallowing the heat burning in my chest. And then my son stood. 12 years old. Too young to know cruelty, too old not to see it. His voice cut through the noise. "Aunt Maya," he said, steady as steel, "should I tell everyone about Uncle Tom's other family?" The room froze. I should have looked away that first night. The night I caught my sister's fiancé watching me too closely. His hand lingered when he greeted me. His words slid too easily, too rehearsed. I told myself I was imagining it, but little cracks widened. Late-night calls he silenced too quickly. Receipts tucked into his wallet from places he swore he'd never been. My sister beaming at him, blind, while his eyes wandered. I kept quiet, because loyalty is a leash, and I wore mine too long. The truth came to me in fragments. A lipstick shade not my sister's smudged on his shirt. A message flashing across her phone. "When will you tell her? The kids miss you." Kids? Plural? My chest hollowed out. The man my sister was about to marry already had a family, another life, a secret he buried under lies. I could have told her immediately, but betrayal deserves more than blunt truth. It deserves precision. So I waited. I played the quiet one, the failure, the single mother, the one they whispered about when I left the room. And all the while I gathered. I found the address, the small suburban house 2 towns over. I met the woman, his real wife. Her eyes carried the same exhaustion mine once did. She opened the door with a toddler clinging to her leg and another crying upstairs. She didn't know about my sister. She thought she was the only one. That's when I knew. This wasn't just betrayal. It was rot. And rot spreads until you cut it out. I planned quietly. No fury, no chaos, just patience. First, I kept my sister close. I offered to help with the baby shower. I smiled through clenched teeth. I let her think she was winning, that she was better. Second, I taught my son the one lesson I never had, that silence is complicity. He saw more than he should have. He heard the phone calls I recorded, the photos I collected. He asked me why I didn't tell Aunt Maya. I told him, the truth always comes. Sometimes you just have to choose the stage. He nodded, and he remembered. That stage was her baby shower, the perfect picture. Balloons, cupcakes, smiles. Everyone dressed in pastel, while poison pulsed just beneath the frosting. She took her chance to humiliate me, to laugh at my scars, at my broken marriage, at the empty seat beside me. And when the guests joined in, I held my son's hand under the table. I didn't have to speak. He did. The silence after his words was violent. My sister's smile cracked. What are you talking about?" she stammered, her eyes darting toward Tom. Gasps rippled through the room. Tom's face drained white. Sweat collected at his temple. He opened his mouth, but my son wasn't finished. "He has kids already," he said, voice steady. "I saw them. My mom showed me." I pulled out my phone. One tap, and the screen lit up with photos. Tom holding 2 children outside the suburban house. His real wife beside him, tired but smiling faintly. Dates, addresses, timestamps, proof. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. The room erupted for me. My sister's hands shook. "Tom, tell me this isn't—" But Tom had no script left, only silence. The guests whispered, disgust sharpening their voices. My mother, always quick with judgment, looked at me then. For the first time, no words came, just fear, because she realized I had played the long game. Tom left that day in a storm of curses, his engagement ring abandoned on the table. My sister collapsed, sobbing, but the sympathy that once swaddled her was gone. The crowd she used to mock me with now looked at her with pity. And my mother? She tried to gather the pieces, tried to spin the story, but no one wanted to listen. Her silence over the years, her dismissal of me, it had come home to her too. Later that night, my sister called, broken. "Why didn't you tell me?" she whispered. I could have said, "Because you never listened." I could have said, "Because you enjoyed my pain." Instead, I told her the truth. Because sometimes the only way people believe is when they see the ruin with their own eyes. Do I feel guilty? No. Her cruelty pushed me into silence, but her cruelty also gave me patience. Tom's betrayal deserved light, not mercy. And my son, he learned the most important lesson of all, that strength isn't loud. Strength is waiting until the room is quiet.